Thank you for buying or considering buying the AeroSys class check. Now, in this new update or the 2024 release, when you insert a folder or product, you will see a folder in your Explorer. In this folder, AeroSys class checker, you will see free items. You will see a class value, which is a number value, and I suggest you open properties as well, because this will be crucial in order to configure the actual product. Anyway, you'll see a seat check loader and a readme. Your first step should be opening the readme script. And here you will be greeted with a nice title, some information. Here you've got the discord.gg invite, so just paste this into join server tab on Discord, and from there you can get support on the product if you need it. The setup video will be filled with this video here. Thank you for finding it, and thank you for using it. If you are struggling with some basic things like finding the group ID or the rank IDs, just open these documents, copy the link, and paste it into Google. It's a Google document, so there's nothing sketchy. And then there are certain steps, very simple and fast forward steps, but if you want to take the time to watch the video, then that's fine. Alright, so down here you will see local AS. This is, well, your entire configuration of the setup, or half of it at least. So I've set up a little test bench for myself, but obviously you'd have your whole plane and seats and whatnot. So I'm gonna pretend like we're gonna pretend like these are some fancy seats with like, ooh, you know, lay flat beds and everything. And then I've got my tools here. So one thing important to note is this one here, C1 tool, for example, the tool area underscore tool must be exact matching for the name of the tool. So if you have the tool named eco or just economy or anything like that, it must match in order for the system to work. Anyway, so what we want to do first is we want to move the seat check loader over to server script service. This script here is obfuscated, so there's nothing you need to touch in here, as this is just the main handler for everything within the system. And before, there was also a secondary script that you had to add starter character scripts, but with this new update, I've managed to make it more simpler. You won't see this UI here, as that's just me storing it, but it will be created by the script upon game startup. That way we protect our scripts and the UI itself. If you own the product, or you are the owner of the game and you own the product, that's when it will work. But you want to enable HTTP requests and studio access to API services. You do that on home, game settings, security, and then like this. Simple as that. If you do not enable it, HTTP requests will not work. Anyway, so now, in order to add these to all our seats, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this into our economy seats. So that's this one. And what we see here now is in the properties, this is a value. This is a number value. And this value is currently set to 1. And this is crucial. If it's 1, this seat here will abide by these settings for the C1. But in order to make different classes, which we can make unlimited of, number based, you can duplicate this bit here as many times as you want, but we're gonna do 4 classes today. So what we're gonna do is we need to rename this to C2, this one to C3, and this one to C4. If these are the same, they will just override each other, and most likely if say this one's C1 as well, like these will be the actual settings, but that's why you need to be cautious that you set it to the correct number. Anyway, so for economy, C1 tool. So this class 1, we want the tool name, we want to make it economy, as that is what the tool name is. It is case sensitive, so be You need to be generous with it. And then, although, since this is an economy seat, you really don't have to put anything in C1, just keep it there. C1 does need to be there, even though it's not locked seat, because usually you want everyone to be able to sit in economy no matter what. So I'll just leave this blank and we'll move on to C2 tool, which is premium economy, and C3 business class, and then C4 first class. The shirt IDs and everything can be done as you go, but I'm not gonna bother doing that. So the ID is simple. It's just like the group ID. So just not the group. It's on the shirt website instead, and you take the ID from that and you put that in. And then if you're struggling with the ranks, just follow this guide here. But we're gonna keep these 0 as it's not really necessary right now. But I'd suggest doing it for when you actually want to lock. So anyway, this system can be used with via tool, shirt, and rank. And how do we enable disable this? Well, we open the class section here and look for its children in the Explorer, and you'll see 4 values. This is use rank, use shirt, and use tool. These are bool values or booleans, which means they are either true or false. If it's checked, that means now we are using tools. So now if for economy, if I have the economy tool, it will allow me to sit. If not, it won't. However, we don't want to enable anything on economy, as everyone should be able to sit in it. But now we're going to duplicate this over to premium economy. And here in this seat, we need to change it to value 2, which results in it matching with these settings for premium economy. And now here I want to use rank, I want to use tool, and I want to use shirt. So you can enable as many of these as you want, but or just have one of them, but sometimes I'd suggest using all of them, but that's up to personal preference. And then since we're using everything, then I'll allow permitting higher ranks as well. So that means that if permit higher ranks and use rank is true, then this is the lowest rank ID for who can sit in the seat. So say if this is the actual premium economy role in the group, then anyone above it, which is usually staff and HRs and the owner, can sit in the seat. If you don't have this enabled, it will be the specific rank ID. But I suggest having it enabled all the time if you're using ranks. So now that's all good. And then we're gonna do business class and first class. So going over to business class here, I'm gonna do the free, making sure it matches C free. And then here I'm gonna use the same settings because I want everyone who even has the slightest chance to use it, use it. Then this one first class, number 4, class 4, first class. And then we'll see, yeah, I'm gonna use everything here as well. And now we want to make sure we don't have the class in the class checker here, otherwise it will error. So just remove it. If it does error, it should still work. If not, just open a support ticket or simply just remove that class from here. But in the folder here, there must be the README file. So this must be exactly in this folder, and the folder must be in workspace. So if we now click play test, we'll see we get no errors, but economy, I can sit in it no matter what because I disabled all of the things. But premium economy, somehow I can sit in it. Oh, yes, that's my bad. Because we are using non-group ID, it goes for the rank first, or it goes for tool first. No, rank first, then tool, and then shirt. So if I just grab a group ID real quick, which I'm not a high rank in. Let's see. Here, this Qatar Airways or whatnot. And then we'll make this one 55, this one 80, and this one 255 or something like that. 255 is always max. Now, since I'm not sufficient rank, and you can instead turn off the rank if you just want to use tool and all that. And then here now we see, oh, well, I get this error, and I did this purposefully because here we see that our marketplace service player owns asset. Second argument is not a valid asset ID. That is because we have turned on these seats use shirt, which is true, although we haven't set the ID. That's a common error. So if you're not using a shirt, make sure to disable this, which is what we're going to do now. So we're going into here. And then if we test it now, we get kicked from the seat. And it's actually quite much faster than the usual one. Usually you sat in the seat for like a second and then you got jumped. But now it just almost instantly jumps you because of the new upgrades we've done. Anyway, and then now if we grab the tool, you'll see, oh, since I have the business class tool, I can sit here. But if I don't, I can't. And that's because we've made it the exact name here. So now we can sit in every seat, which is great. And that's pretty much the setup. Just, you put these values into the seats in your plane. I'd suggest, for example, if you're doing an economy class config, before entering all the seats into your plane, add the value into one seat and then start moving it around, because that way you don't have to change every single one and add every single one again. That's just a suggestion, and if you're qualified enough, you can use the command bar to just instantly duplicate this into the seats, but that is way more complicated than I need to make it. But other than that, that's the whole setup. And I hope you enjoyed the product. If you encounter any issues, open a support ticket by DMing the support bot in the AeroSys Discord. Thank you. Have a nice day.